school time again. Or for me, the time of the year when people who graduated years ago get excited to reorganize their desks and buy new office supplies. Because suddenly there are cute ones everywhere. Anyone else? Just me? Okay, so today I'll be showing you how to make this Hogwarts Castle Desk Organizer, where you can keep pens, pencils, scissors, and your nerdy hopes and dreams. The little ones, at least. A while back, I made a desk organizer out of glue, paper, and cardboard, and an overwhelming amount of you asked if I could make a Harry Potter themed one. I'm excited to say that I finally figured it out using cereal boxes, and here's how to make it. First, print out the template PDF and cut out the castle pieces. You can find a link to download the template for free in the video description, where you'll also find a list of the materials you'll need to make this project. Use a craft knife to cut out these tricky spots. Once your templates are ready, we can start transforming 2 cereal boxes into Hogwarts Castle. I designed the templates to work with standard cereal boxes that are 7 5/8 inches wide like these. Turn the first box on its side and measure 5 3/4 inches up from the bottom on one edge and 3 3/4 up from the bottom on the other edge. This is going to give the organizer slanted sides. Then, on the side of the box with the lower mark, measure 3 3/4 inches up from the bottom on both edges. Turn to the third side and add a mark at 5 3/4 inches again so it'll slant back up. Now, use a ruler to connect your marks with straight lines. So now you should have a line slanting down, a line straight across, and then a line slanting up, leaving the fourth side whole for now because that's where the castle design will be cut out. Repeat those steps in the same pattern for the second box with the higher mark at 3 3/4 inches and the lower mark at 2 1/4 inches this time. Don't forget to leave the taller side the way it is so we can add castle towers to it later. This box will eventually be attached to the front of the bigger box. Now we'll cut along those lines to get the basic shape of the desk organizer started. Cut down along the first corner where the taller end of the slant starts, down along the first slanted line, straight across the wider side, up along the second slant, and straight up along the seam of the box. It should now look like this. Once you cut out the other box as well, your 2 boxes should look like this, with the slanted sides lining up when you stack one in front. Keep the excess aside because you'll need it later. Next, grab the taller box and the tallest castle template. Place the template inside of the box on top of the back panel. Make sure it's lined up with the corners of the box, then carefully trace around the part of the design that sticks out of the box with a pencil. And don't forget to trace the extra shapes under the bridge. Once you've finished tracing on the first box, do the same with the other box and the medium-sized castle template. When you get all the way around, take the template out and you'll be able to see kind of what it will look like when it's done. Grab the last template piece and one of your excess cardboard pieces left over from the other boxes. Trace all the way around this one on a flat piece of the cardboard. This piece will end up being glued onto the bottom front of the organizer. Here's where a bit of skill comes in, and if you're a kid or if you're not super confident with your craft knife skills, ask a parent or experienced friend to help with this step. Carefully cut on all the lines you just traced using a sharp craft knife. Be extra careful because these things are sharp, but I've found that it comes out looking much better than it would with scissors because these delicate cardboard towers tend to get bent when turning corners. You may want to save an extra cereal box or 2 in case you mess up and need to start over. You could also practice on some extra cardboard before you start just to get the hang of it if you're unfamiliar with using one of these craft knives. But I totally have faith in you and I know it'll turn out great if you stay patient and take your time with it. When you finish a section, be careful when removing the extra cardboard because it might still be stuck in some parts and need a bit more trimming. It comes out looking super cool once you finally remove those pieces though. So here's a little preview with the first 2 castle sections cut out. Now it just needs the front piece with the cliffs and another bridge. Cut out that piece the same way, being extra careful with all of these little cutouts, and when that's done you can see where that will fit right in the front of the organizer. This next step is optional, but because cereal boxes are sometimes made out of pretty thin cardboard, I used my leftover pieces and loosely traced the general shapes to give the castle pieces an extra layer that I can glue onto the back of it. This especially helps when you start painting because if the cardboard is too thin, it might curl a little. Now we're going to glue the pieces together. If you're using a hot glue gun like I am, be careful not to burn yourself. Start out by gluing the extra layers on the back of each castle if you decided to make those. As a reminder, this is how the boxes should fit together, with the slanted sides lining up, the middle-sized castle piece poking up between the 2 boxes, and the lowest side in front. quickly add some glue onto the front side of the bigger box, then place the smaller box on top of it and press down. Make sure the bottoms of both boxes can sit flat against your table. Get the remaining piece with the cliffs and the bridge, squeeze out some glue on the smallest front edge of the organizer, and press that piece down, lining up the bottom and sides with the box. It's really coming together now. The next step is to paint and decorate our castle. I'm going to paint the whole thing with this dark blue acrylic paint. I also decided to add some toilet paper rolls to the inside of the larger box so I can stand up some pencils, markers, and scissors in it, so I'll be painting those as well. Painting was definitely the most time-consuming step for me. If you wanted to, you could probably save some time by spray painting it instead. Mine needed 3 good coats of paint, especially on the parts that covered up the graphics on the cereal box. Once the paint is dry, decide how you want to place the cardboard tubes and glue them into the bigger box one at a time. It's almost done, but I think it could use one more decorative touch. On the template, there are 3 sets of 6-sided stars like the ones in the corners of the American Harry Potter book pages. We'll be cutting them out of some yellow duct tape to make little decals. First, place a strip of tape onto the cutting mat. Then, place the star templates on top of that so they're right on top of the tape. Use a little bit of painter's tape to lightly secure those to the mat, then use your craft knife to cut around each of the stars. I like to do this with a smaller cutting mat so I can turn it around as I go. Make sure that you're pressing down enough to cut through both the paper template and the duct tape, and be sure to connect the corners with your cuts. The paper star should come off easily if you've done this correctly. Once you've cut them all out, carefully peel up the tape so the stars are left behind. Then, start picking up each of the stars so they're easier to grab. Mine were stuck pretty well to the mat, so I used the craft knife to help peel up the corners. Try not to stretch them out or touch the adhesive too much with your fingers so they maintain their stickiness. Then press them onto the desk organizer. I put a cluster of 3 stars on each of the 3 panels. This is what it looks like when it's all finished. When you're happy with the way it looks, fill the compartments with school supplies, tools, or whatever else you need to organize. This is a great way to incorporate your love of Harry Potter into your desk decor without spending a lot of money. I'm really happy with the way it came out. It's kind of great what you can do with something you'd just be getting rid of, isn't it? Feel free to customize the way you paint it if you'd like to change the colors or make it a little more complicated. Leave me a comment below telling me how you would decorate yours. If you end up making one of these yourself, definitely share a picture of it on social media. You can find me at LaurenFairWX on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. As always, if you know any Harry Potter fans who would love this video, send it their way. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this video so you can find out when I've posted a new one. Have a lovely semester if you're back in school for the year. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.